All right, welcome back to D&D. So, last week, well, you made your way around the kind of sewery tunnel system you were in, managed to open up one of the valves in the below the acid. Suffered a small amount of acid burning, but you did get it open, which forced a confrontation with the guardian god, who you were then able to defeat. So yes, you we ended it there. Uh, I believe Graham was brought back from unconsciousness,
Yes. Yep.
and then the remainder of you are just around this kind of strange slime pile that is floating along the slowly decreasing acid.
Hold up. It put me all the way in. Where the heck am I?
Is this weird slime pile something that we could sell to like a weird wizard or one of these academics?
I'm gonna guess probably not.
I don't know, man. We met some guys who really like weird samples of goo.
Why? Why?
Bring them some goo. See if they'll pay us for it. Just saying.
Okay. That was weird. It wasn't letting me pan around.
Huh. Interesting.
All right. We Gucci. Um, how drained is the water?
Um, it was draining about an inch a minute. Um, and it's only been a couple of minutes, so it's only gone down like 5 or 6 inches. It was like 10 feet.
Uh, Goo Man over here didn't have anything in him, did he? We can't see any like possessions, anything to identify what it could have been.
You can search the remainder of what passes as a corpse.
I mean, he's translucent, right?
No, no, he's not.
Sure. I guess we can take a look,
Yeah,
see.
we
I don't
can
know.
canvas the
Throw a
sewer
around in
system.
that goo pile there.
All
See if
right.
he has any stuff. The goo.
Well, the goo pile is floating on the top of the acid, and is kind of spread out. So if you would like to search it, it would require you to,
You need one of those pool cleaning
yeah,
uh, nets. That's what you need.
Uh,
you would need to either get into the acid or move it itself.
can I use my halberd
Like a
and just like
wash hole.
pull it over to the like land?
Yeah, if you'd like.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Okay. As you put your halberd head into it, it does begin to start to melt the metal
Um,
itself on the blade.
okay, I'll just pull that back then. I was mostly like an attempt.
Yeah, you didn't put it in enough to cause it to suffer any damage beyond just some cosmetic damage, but you do notice that the actual body itself would start to dissolve any metal it touched.
I don't know if we want to touch that.
Probably not.
Okay. Do we just want to take a look around while this place drains out?
Might as well.
We go back to where the goo people were. We'll probably witness some suffering.
Yeah.
Suggest we go a different way instead.
Okay.
I imagine they're all going to be like, "Ah, my goo!"
Ah,
Or something like that. So
We could
I feel like
probably
I'm like
see if
running Stimpy or something.
there's like a quote unquote headquarters for where the thing like made its lair down here. Might as well look around for that.
Yeah, we can look around.
we should definitely look. It was definitely like moving around through the pipes and stuff, so it might be anyway.
I'm gonna investigate like all the way through. So like for bottles.
Okay. Yeah. If you would like to, you can make a investigation roll to just see if there's any more traps.
I will assist.
Okay.
Yep, let me do that again.
You do find the occasional vial of acid that had been placed around. No more than three of them. Looks like, and the ones you do find were less well hidden.
Can you imagine just like dying after killing the boss?
Yep.
Uh, yeah, that's. I'm assuming that this connects somehow.
Yep. Here I will reveal.
Hmm.
Reveal. Here we are. There you go.
All right, and then I'll do the same thing over here. Does that investigation cover up to here too?
I would say at this point, the area you're in is less dangerous.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you submerge yourself fully in the acid, in which case I will start rolling
I
damage.
solved the puzzle.
What is this?
That is a large pipe. You can see that is entering into the actual acid itself. You can see connections. It is actually bolted in with some very high level, like bolts. The metal itself appears to have some sort of treatment on it that has prevented it from melting away from the actual acid itself, although you can tell that that is beginning to wear off, as there is the telltale sign of damage to the pipe itself.
Uh, can we tell what kind of treatment was done to this? Like maybe we can emulate it for future use, just like observing it.
Um, give me a nature roll.
We stick a key into Fern's back and crank it, and
I
beep
can do
boop.
the
I am
I can do the
survival bot.
nature roll on Fern if you want. I do have her thingy.
I mean, I guess just in case, who is playing Fern today?
I can.
Okay.
Fern's like,
And
none
when
of this.
Lena's not here, it's a little cord you pull on Fern.
It's a salt bunny. That's
Terrible.
Were you
Paddington
helping her?
Fern.
You helping her? I don't even know if you can.
Actually, just yes, there we are. Okay. The pipe itself appears to be treated with a coating. It looks like from what Fern can ascertain, it was probably a excretion or the blood or something from an animal that is either resistant or immune to acid that had been mixed in with a paint that then had been used to paint the pipe itself.
Once she shares that with us, do any of us know what the heck and what kind of animal is resistant to?
Um, you can think of a couple of different ones, but anything that would be resistant or immune to acid is typically rather rare.
Hmm.
Uh, the Arwellan Empire would have access to a number of rare animals, and if they had been able to catch one of them and use its.
It probably had hydras all over the place just for
Yeah.
this purpose.
Milk the Hydra.
That's just me thinking out loud.
I mean,
Okay.
you suspect it could be a Hydra. Hydra's, especially the one you fought, does have an acidic blood and obviously can't melt itself.
Yeah. Nothing special about this room otherwise then, I guess. All right.
Not that you're able to see.
Okay.
I'm wondering about whether there was any truth to the guardian god protecting them from something beneath them.
Yeah.
We're gonna want to inform, like, see if that's true if we can, and inform the college that they're probably gonna want to post some guards about that.
Yeah. I'll come over here and investigate. I assume I'll do an investigation over here, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Where is it? No, that's intimidation. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't notice anything that is out of the ordinary. This section looks a little bit nicer, so it looks like it has suffered less wear.
hey, maybe this is the luxury apartments, Graham.
From here, you do see that the path continues down. It goes east-west. You do see some paths heading further south on the east and west wing. You do notice, especially further east, the way you're looking, Otto, that
Yep.
there is a large stone door, similar to the one you would actually had to unlock to enter into this area using that kind of like rod you had gotten from the mayor and the hierophant.
Okay, I'll point that out to everybody, and I guess we'll make our way downtown. I guess I'll.
Walking fast.
Jump over here. Obviously, investigate my way all the way to the door.
Yep. You don't really. I'll just say you don't see anything, just because at this point, I had that roll cover kind of this whole hallway.
Okay.
You see a ladder that's used that has been propped up against the wall. Looks like it's used for maintenance. The door itself is large. It looks heavy and thick, very similar to what you had previously unlocked. However, this one doesn't actually have the kind of holes that had been used to unlock it. There is writing above it, however. You cannot make it out, as it appears to be an old Arwellen.
Yeah, I'll point that out to Mr. Graham.
Graham will read it.
Graham, looking at the old Arwellen, it says in a somewhat flourished tone, in essence, please recite the passphrase to exit to the next level.
Oh, okay.
Into the blue key.
Graham will relay this.
Didn't we do? Was it a passphrase that he said for us to get here too? I don't remember.
I think we had to use one of the rods of office with the seal on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a passphrase on the seal?
Looking at the seal, you do not see one. There's no writing, really.
Is there anything of? I don't know. Is there like a motto, a saying, or something for Arwell that might fit the passphrase here? I'm just asking Graham.
Nothing I would know of, but I still want to see where this thing was sleeping in, such as it were.
What's to the south?
To the south, the tunnel kind of just eventually ends at a dead end. The acid does continue further under. However, you would actually have to submerge within it to actually continue further south.
That's enough for me, dog. What's up the maintenance ladder?
The maintenance ladder leads to a small section of stone along the ceiling that has begun to crumble. Looks like it has been placed there, and some mortar and pestle has been used to try and repair the damage.
Okay, so it's not like a trap door to like a room of stuff. Okay.
No, it's a the ladder itself does have small hooks within it, but it looks like it merely is meant to grab onto stone in order to be picked up and moved, and then placed and allow it to sit firmly without having to worry about it sliding away from under you.
So you know those spider web games where like actually in Baldur's Gate 3 we just pick up everything? Mm-hmm. It's like Hank, open up and just shove a ladder right down.
The ladder is about 10 feet tall, so it'd be very difficult to shove within Hank. He'd have a ladder sticking out of him from henceforth.
You would need to buy him dinner.
It's kind of funny. I don't know. So we know where this is. Did we see anything coming here that might have been Arwellen phrases or any stuff like that?
Make an intelligence roll to try and remember.
Can Graham make one as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we all can.
Yeah.
I'll do it on Fern too, I guess. All right, Assault Bunny. Don't let me down. She let me down.
It's odd.
Four smooth brains.
Hold up. I'm gonna do this on Lilith just because I want to I want her to get like a nat 20 just so that like the grunting it would be fun.
That was kind of the plan if it succeeded, but yeah. Lilith just goes and you see her kind of moving her hands and grunting.
So I assume Lilith is pointing at like something, or just would she just take us to it? That's what I'll ask. Is it down here?
Lilith's homunculus owl starts to hoot. Hello there. The passphrase in question, I believe, was noticed among some paperwork in the city.
Well, let's go take a look, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Theater of the mind to the city?
Yes, so I will... Well, we don't even have the Theater of the Mind to the city. Ooh-doo-doo-doo. There you go.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, so you make your way back to the city, I'm assuming.
Yep.
A rather grandiose term for what this place is, but
The underworld city.
as you return, you can see a number of people have gathered around the tunnel entrance,
They have
waiting
been.
for you to return. And oh no,
Howdy.
you see the person you had met with earlier, who had tasked you with actually getting the rods of office as well as killing the guardian god. He approaches. Well, you're alive, so I'm assuming he's not.
Nope. Can't
Thumbs
say
up.
he is. Bastard.
You hear a large amount of murmur coming from the crowd, as well as a kind of wail and just like a high pitched screaming and sobbing.
Oh dear.
You can see on his hands and knees the Hierophant. His robes are dirtier. He is just incoherently attempting to speak, but is just incapable.
Remind me, did they speak Common or was it Arwellan and Graham was translating?
Uh, they spoke primarily Old Arwellan. However, Common would be a kind of what would be considered a more low class kind of
Okay.
speech that had then proliferated and become like the kind of standard talk for everybody else.
Okay. So our low class asses just killed their god. I'm cool with this. Um,
But they can speak Common to answer your question.
okay. So do we let them know we need to his secrets are locked behind possibly a door that needs a phrase in the office?
Graham is gonna go up to the Hierophant and just say, not unsympathetically, like, he was
Repent.
lying to you, Chumley. I mean, you can go down with him or you can look to the future.
He just begins to compose himself to the best of his ability. No, you don't understand. You've killed us all.
Explain.
The the Guardian. I know it wasn't a god. It was when the Arwellan Empire, they had a number of researchers. They had been working on a black pudding that could absorb memories. It was the researchers and that blasted wizard Kraxon who created it. When the when the evacuation began, the the pudding ate the researchers and absorbed their memory, but they were able to overwhelm it with their will. It was a single entity. It would absorb the memories of people who died, and then it would produce a blank slate of it. We cannot have kids. We cannot have children. Without the Guardian, our society is dead in a single generation.
I
Well,
predicted this.
we're all trying to find the guy who did it. Well, if it happened once, we might be able to figure something out, but we're going to need access to all the research notes. You're lucky on two counts, such as it is. One, you have somebody here who can speak Old Arwellan. Two, you have a college right above you, and they might be interested in keeping you around.
As if the abominations below don't kill us.
Yeah, about that. What can you tell me? Because could have led with that, is all I'm saying.
I don't know. I've never seen them. The Guardian formed a very powerful deterrent for them to arrive and kill us all. Now without it, I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, anyone who dies here isn't coming back ever. 800 years of memories within the Guardian gone.
You can mope, or you can help us help you figure out a solution.
The former mayor steps forward. We do have some old records that had the passphrase to get to the tunnels below. The Guardian knew it. He would occasionally speak it. But as a precaution, he had written it down for us just in case he wasn't available.
Yeah, let's go through what you got on him.
Uh, well, come to my. He kind of looks around, looks at the leader of the rebels. Come to the mayor's office, and we'll take a look, I suppose. I mean, I'm assuming you're going down to fight them on our behalf.
Yep, that's the plan. So I'm gonna need a little rest. Your buddy wasn't so great.
Well, I have no reason to deny you. It's not like I could stop you physically. He leads you to the office. He sits at the desk. I'm gonna miss this chair. I think you've kind of gathered I am not the mayor anymore.
Yeah, kind of figured.
He reaches into his. He looks for his key. Yes, that's right. Think it was. Well, I don't think it was misplaced. Would you happen to have it?
uh, might do, Fiffle.
We're just gonna look at Piffle.
Sorry, what was the question?
Uh, the mayor is looking for his key that you stole earlier, and asked if we have it to get into his drawers so we can start looking through the Guardian's paperwork.
His what?
Is the key that we had you steal?
While he was sleeping.
Piffle kind of looks side to side.
He's not mayor anymore. It's cool.
I'm so confused. Piffle, hold on. Piffle does a thing where he like trips and falls and pretends to find the key on the ground.
The
Oh, look, here it is.
the mayor rolled less than that, so I I I see that it has appeared on the floor. I don't think it was fallen there, but you know what, it doesn't matter. He picks it up, unlocks a drawer, and just like opens it up, and just a huge bunch of books of vellum paper. He just puts it on the desk. Here we are. He just kind of searches through it. Eventually pulls out a stack of papers. Here we are. These indicate the initial development of this area, as well as passphrases for descending to lower and upper levels. He looks through specifically, and he says within Old Orwellan, the passphrase would be open for lower descent.
Straightforward enough.
Well, normally they enjoyed putting it in a more flourishing term, but in this case it was a design by Craxon to actually. In fact, this whole area was, as far as I'm aware, his design and creation.
Yeah. While we're here resting up and putting our heads together, we ought to find out everything we can about you guys if we're going to have the best success of coming back and, saving your species.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I've told only a few insiders, the captain of the guard, the Hierophant, and myself. Um, the initial researchers who were trapped down here after the first group had were consumed by the black pudding and had the memories absorbed, and they, in essence, subsumed its animalistic will with their own intellect. They roamed around and it consumed the remaining researchers, absorbing their memories before producing the first blank. As I am, as you see before me, as you can tell, it didn't quite get the humanoid look down perfectly. We would then live our lives, gathering memories as we survived. And once we died, we would return to the Guardian God, who would absorb us and absorb the new memories that were created, and then produce another version of us. In essence, creating a perpetuating society to an extent.
All right. So, what did it want? Just to be lord of someplace?
Well, I'll admit I don't have those memories. As far as I can determine from the my knowledge I gained from it, It may initially have been acting in a more, well, it's dead now, panicked mode, and attempting to control its environment. Uh, the attacks on the lower levels of the abominations below were true. Obviously, there was some sort of warfare with them below. Of course, not with the thousands of the Orwellan's armies, but dozens to a couple hundred at most. Um, I think it maybe had found itself in a niche that it enjoyed occupying, or at least found some comfort in occupying, and didn't wish to change. Uh, in essence, big fish in a small pond.
Right.
Well, research material is here on my desk. Any researchers above who could possibly find a cure or solution for our problem would, I guess, they can search through it.
I'll have a look as well. And have you got any? Do you know if he had like a lair down in the pipes? Some.
You just got out of his lair. Yeah, it was the whole area was his lair. Didn't
Yeah.
really write down anything. If you're wondering if it had any notes, it was all stored in the memory. 100% perfect memory as I can determine, as it told me. I have no reason to suspect it was lying.
So humor me here. What if he's dead? Couldn't one of them absorb his memories?
If you have a memory absorber, of course, anything that can do that. If you don't have anything like that, I think it may be a little too late. You also have to collect the memories relatively soon. Once the decay really starts to set in, collecting memories is impossible. It has to be done within at most an hour.
Gotcha. Well, we'll do what we can.
While you're discussing this, you all hear a high pitched noise that kind of echoes throughout the city. The noise only lasts for a few seconds, but once it's done, you all kind of hear a ringing in your ears that lasts for a couple minutes.
Uh-oh. So, what was that?
I don't know.
Hmm. Better go take
Does
a look.
that high pitched noise in After Effects is anything we've ever like heard of?
Make a history check.
I will make a history check. I got a 15.
I'll try one. Let me see what I get.
You've heard of some. Oh, okay. You've heard of definitely a number of things that would produce a high pitched noise like that. Going through your memory, they could be things that were created by large animals or by specific machines. Um, you do remember hearing some talk of, for whatever reason, Otto has heard, where Graham has not, of the Orwellian Empire investigating certain sonic devices
Hmm.
that they had been poking around with, either for doing recording or for attempting to attack enemies with. Uh, but you have never heard of that. You've not heard that specific noise before.
I'm gonna look at Graham and say like perks of being a bartender.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I have my moments.
Well,
Because out of character, I was thinking, is that like that freaking bat hybrid we saw before from the Shaper? Because we're kind of deep down anyway.
It would be similar. You kind of remember that, like, an animal could produce a sound like that.
Mm. So did
That
that sound
Yeah.
sound like it was in the same, like, I guess I don't know how to explain it, like the plane we're on, I guess level, or did it count sound like it was underneath?
It kind of was heard throughout the entire city. From what you can see, you could see that from, like, outside the window, people stopping was the sound is heard.
Mm, okay. I was thinking like, oh no, one of the underground things are coming up the sewers already.
my thought is if it is some sort of sonic experiment, maybe there's something down there and it's agitating them. And if we could turn that thing off, maybe it would fix it, and we just couldn't hear it because the pipes weren't drained. But that's just a guess.
That's true. That is true. You want to go back down and take a look? Should we rest before or?
Yeah, we're gonna need to, and we'll want to be on hand in case something does come after the people.
All right. The rebels have begun to, in essence, remove the guards. You can see throughout the city guards being disarmed and more of the citizens beginning to start to wear the colors that the rebels have begun wearing and splash their symbol among their clothing.
Nice.
Um,
We did a coup.
the rebel leader approaches you. Eh, well, the news about the civilization dying in a generation isn't great, but we're free from the guardian god, and I consider that a benefit. And honestly, I'd much rather live and die free than have it just persist under its heel.
Good on you. We'll do everything we can to try to not end your species in a generation, as it were.
Well, we can go up to the surface. We can live, you know, not here. I gotta tell you, it doesn't take a lot of time to see and do anything, everything that you can in this city.
Yeah, kind of looks around.
I
I
mean,
can understand that. Do you know
there's
anything about that noise that just went off? Do you know anything about the creatures down below?
no. As far as I'm aware, there was warfare with them centuries ago, or such and such. There had been I don't know how you want to describe it, a stalemate, I guess, with them within the past few decades. The Guardian would report that there were probing attacks from them, or at least he would report to his Hierophant, who would tell us. Um, it seems they're aware that he's no longer here.
Mm,
What actually let them know that, I could not say. But it's the first I've ever heard that noise.
okay. Well, if you guys have anything we could use to restock supplies down here, that would be great. But if not, we'll just have to rest up and go about it with what we got.
We have food. It seems like you're not a big on our
Nah,
drink.
it kind of dissolves us.
Um, well, we have some supplies. What do you need?
You don't happen to have magic healing potions or the like, do you?
Uh, we might have something. We don't really produce them in a great quantity. Getting the resources for them is difficult. Here it's pretty, a lot of it on the surface, but down here you basically have to cultivate the little mushrooms that grow in the dark.
Gotcha.
I could probably get you three.
That would be great. We used up an awful lot dealing with big and nasty down there.
Well, rest up. I'll go to our alchemist. At this point, there's no real reason not to give you the potions, especially because you're going to go deal with the abominations. I mean, the Guardian was a bastard, but I got no reason to believe he was lying to us about the ones below.
Yeah, I'm certainly not keen to leave you to it and call it a good day until we figure out a way through this, if any. So,
Well, in the meantime, rest up. We got guards around, so if anything does show up, they can at least give you a warning before.
cool. Let's find a place to grab some grass and snooze. What is a grass?
It does remind me. So, my understanding is there's cities above,
Yeah.
and they're bigger than this one.
Oh yeah. This is like
Significantly bigger.
how many people? What's the population of Vaxfall right now, roughly?
Vaxfall, I believe I put it about 20 to 30,000 people.
Graham will relay that about 30K up in the capital up there, and we're kind of outliers, an outland,
Yeah,
not exactly heavily populated.
Vaxval definitely has a lower population. Actually, the city of Mithelgroth was I believe about what did I put it? It was pretty high. It was like way higher than that. It was like maybe 150,000.
But that includes the slaves, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was 18,000 drow citizens, 30,000 free non-citizens, 45,000 indentured servants, and 110,000 slaves, roughly. Um,
How many people are here? Like in this little town.
Couple dozen, right?
and he looks around. No, there's like 150 of us.
Ah,
30,000 people is such an absurdly high number. I can't even begin to. Are they like packed together? Can they like move around the streets?
yeah, no, there's plenty of space. They if if we're resting, Graham will minorly nerd out about the architecture and infrastructure lessons he learned from our well and tutors while talking about city design and how it grows.
Yeah,
Pipe infrastructure.
you describe to him cities, especially Arwellan cities that are large, and I mean your knowledge of the architecture and the history shows you that this is not even meant to be a city more than it is meant to be an infrastructure project that people live in.
Interesting.
They're a hamlet.
You guys are a literal sewer. Graham is nice enough to not say that.
It does bear the telltale signs of our Artificer Labs in some regards, but it looks like it was primarily meant for more of a experiments with liquids.
Yeah, it's an awful big world up there, and Viderheim is only one country, I guess. Is Viderheim continent size?
Yeah, it's I initially envisioned it as a sort of Australia meets Norway, so it's not as big as Australia, but it would be considered its own continent
Gotcha.
slash country.
So Graham will also say, like, yeah, there's people here, but then there's people across the ocean on a even bigger piece of land, and one's to the here and the there, and the there's a lot up there.
Hmm. Well, once we meet with your the people above the described it as a school or a university, I think I'll head up there and I think I'll try and make my way around the whole world if I can.
Oh, sorry, my back is screwing up IRL.
No worry.
Oof, pretty badly actually.
Maybe we can. Maybe everybody here can go together. 150 people. I mean, it's a big world. I'm sure we can find something. I mean,
Maybe, yeah.
you know enough that a large boat could carry all these people.
The Slime Odyssey.
The slime in the Odyssey.
Well, thank you for giving me a little primer on the surface. I think it'll probably take a lot of getting used to, but I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'll write a letter to some of the local authorities explaining the situation, get some help from the college, because I've got to admit this was a first kind of situation for all of us too, and I'd rather start things off on the right foot instead of dealing with between you and me, fucking idiots.
Fair
Doesn't
enough.
take much to make somebody twitchy and paranoid about well, weird to them folk. You understand?
Makes sense.
You see, people are bastards. Oh,
I
I'll be right
suspect. I
back.
mean, down here, we're all kind of shoved together. You don't gotta like your neighbor, but you at least gotta get along with them.
Urban planning light. All right. Sorry. I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Sexy.
All right. Did anybody wish to do anything else before
Uh,
going?
yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us to really do.
All right. All right. With that, I imagine you all bed down for, in essence, a long rest.
Yep. I'll hit the button for everybody I'm responsible for.
All right.
Oh boy.
You successfully complete a long rest.
No, hang on. It doesn't reset my lay on hand counter. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's because it's for
Crap.
any class resource and doesn't know what the max is. But it's just 5 times your paladin level.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, you wake up refreshed, less hurt, less burned. You've noticed that your acid wounds are beginning to heal.
Hooray!
Amazing what a good night's sleep will do. Horrible acid burns.
You still have the telltale sign of some of the acid burns, the kind of bleached skin look where it struck you initially. You suspect though, with some time, those will go away.
Hooray! I'll look normal again.
Or if you really want to, you could use a healing spell to get rid of them immediately. But
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Would have done that before, I think, if we had any left. Um. Okay. What's the plan now? We're gonna go back down there and investigate. I believe that was the plan.
currently, I think Matt is
That is dead.
away, so it will be up to Otto and Fiffle to decipher a plan.
Head back down and investigate Biffle.
Okay. What are we investigating again?
We have the key word. We can get past that gate now.
Ah.
The phrase.
Oh, so we can go investigate whether there's a even more angry guardian guy underneath the first one.
Yeah, maybe we can find some of. Maybe he has a stash of loot or something. I don't know.
I'm sold.
These are all things in the back of our head.
My desire for loot is stronger than my desire to not be devoured by an angry.
Plus, we're recovered, so
now.
we're also recovered, so that we can put up a fight.
Exactly.
All right,
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's map transition.
All right. We'll worry about that in a second. So you're heading back to the Guardian's his lair.
Yeah, back to the gate with the need the passphrase for.
Okay. As you head that way, give me a perception check, please.
Okay, is this everybody? Or...
Yeah.
We'll both proceed.
And as you begin to make your way, Lilith holds back and begins to grunt.
that's going to make me stop immediately.
Her owl begins to speak. Dear friends, excuse me. I have decided I'm going to remain to study these records that these folk have written down. I'm interested in their nature. I would like to hang back. Please proceed without me, but I will be available if you do require some assistance.
All right.
I may not be
Otto. Is that bird talking, Otto, or did I drink something?
Yep, the bird's translating grunting.
Huh.
I will nod to the bird and give the thumbs up that we understand.
The bird begins to speak again. You can actually speak with me, Lilith. The bird merely translates for me.
Okay. Yep,
Kind of looks back and forth between them in total confusion.
The bird says no.
All right, we got it. Let us know whenever you're ready to go again.
No, continue without me. This may take some time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Stephanie's out.
For now, I will see if she can come back.
She's got a hectic
Gotcha.
life right now.
It was easier previously, but things have IRL unfortunately made it not a practical consideration.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So Lilith saying that you proceed back into the lair of the Guardian. Fern notices some strange residue on the ground that wasn't there previously.
I guess you'll print it out. What kind of residue is this? Is it acid? Is it?
It looks like a kind of burn mark, probably created through some sort of ignition. You
Hmm.
also notice the telltale signs of small metal fragments around it as well. Looks like something had erupted and kind of scorched to the ground and placed down a number of small little strange metal and you think ceramic fragments as well. Difficult
Uh,
to see, but with Fern's keen eye, she was able to find it without too much trouble.
can we tell how long it's been here with that perception?
You're not able to determine. You don't remember seeing it when you were coming back to the city to report that the Guardian was dead.
Does the air smell different because of the scorched these fragments?
The air does have a. It's difficult to get a good scent with the kind of heavy acid smell that's around. Now, although the acid itself is completely drained away, as you have been able to. Throughout your long rest, it has it's drained out of the sewer, so you could actually walk along the bottom without any trouble now.
Hmm. And that's where we saw it, right?
Nope, this was on the walkway.
Okay. Uh,
If you had to take a guess, you would suspect that the scorch mark was put there 7 hours ago, maybe 6 to 7.
hmm. Isn't that when that high pitched thing happened? I'm gonna look at Graham if he remembers about the time
Uh,
frame.
I assume we started resting then.
Yeah, we got a long rest, so hit your button.
Okay. So let me hit the button on me. Um, and I guess timeline that would about match up. Can I do an investigate on it?
Yes, you can.
I'll assist.
Ah, well, good. Actually, a halfling reroll.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, looking down at it, checking, giving a more thorough investigation of the age, you do believe that it actually would have been placed there within the time period when that high pitched sound was first heard.
Uh,
The residue does appear to. It looks like it erupted from. Your mind believes. You don't believe this to be a like residue from a gunshot, but it reminds you of it as if it was erupted from a tube or something contained and it popped out of there. The metal and ceramic pieces around um, look like they had been sprayed out in the same pattern. So they obviously had been shot forth from the exact same source.
hmm. Interesting. We should go and ask one of the slime people if they know anything about, like, do you recognize these burns?
Okay.
I mean, it's right at the entrance, so they could take a look real quick, I guess.
All right. Yeah, there's a guard there. Actually, a couple of guards. One of them. Do you wave one of them over, or
Yeah.
walks towards you? Kind of stumbles a little bit before kind of shaking his head. Gets over. Hey, what's what's going on?
Uh, there's a burn mark over here, and are you all right?
Just a little lightheaded. Um, burn mark, you say?
Yeah, Grammel pointed out.
Um, does appear to be a burn mark.
Nothing you saw or have seen before?
No. Somebody put some soot on the ground in a fan shape, I guess.
Hmm.
It wasn't you guys, I take it.
No.
Hmm.
When did you start feeling kind of out of it? Was it after that noise?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was.
That's not good.
A couple of people feeling a bit lightheaded, but yeah, I think maybe a good rest and we'll be okay, right?
Hmm. Did you happen to get a sense for where it came from, or did it just kind of feel like it was coming from everywhere for you too?
It just felt like everywhere, as far as I can tell.
Hmm. think we're gonna have to find whatever made that noise. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's probably not a coincidence that it's here because this place kind of looks like it was built to test liquids for the Arwellan Empire.
Well, I've been instructed to maintain guard of this tunnel entrance and make sure no abominations come and attack the town. So I can't leave my post.
Understandable. All right. Thanks.
You're quite welcome. He goes back to the post. You only were like 30 feet within the tunnel itself, so he doesn't have to go too far. But
Graham is going to check the ceilings as well.
okay, give me an investigation roll.
Eh.
I would have assisted.
Okay.
And
Looking around, you don't notice anything on the ceiling out of the ordinary. It looks pretty normal to you. You give like a good, thorough investigation of the area around where this scorch mark was seen, but you don't notice anything that is out of the ordinary with the exception of the scorch mark itself. You do notice, actually, some small grooves that look more recent. There are four kind of sharp points that had dug into the ground, into the stone, uh, in a square shape or more of a rectangle. The stone powder is new, so it looks like this was done recently.
hmm. Graham is going to go back to that guard and warn him, like, keep an eye on this post. I wonder if maybe one of those things below went on a sniffing expedition.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'll admit when we heard the noise, I mean everybody had kind of they had abandoned their post. I mean it was the Guardian's dead. Nobody was really paying attention to the tunnel. Normally, had attendants there to make sure if he had anything to say, we would hear him right away. But I
Mm,
guess we maybe were a bit distracted. He kind of points around to people who are knocking back drinks in a kind of
yeah,
cheery fashion.
understandable. Okay. Hopefully nothing gets by us. Just keep your eyes open,
Well,
and we'll do the same.
we've I'll let some people know we'll double the guard here. If anything comes, I mean we got our dart guns, we got our spears,
Yeah,
acid
those things are
vials.
motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, they're not bad.
Got me like here, here, here. Like just goes through the hit point, like the combat log.
Just broke the fourth wall with
Anyway,
them.
Graham will make polite Southerner small chat for slightly too long for the guard's preference, but then graciously go back to exploring the tunnel.
I'll be
Now,
right back real quick.
now is Graham the kind of guy who like shakes your hand but like a little too long and doesn't let go until you force the issue?
Nah, he's not a sociopath. He's just Southern.
You want some of those? You better take them up to your room.
All right.
I know what to burn it tonight to get.
So
How much is over here?
you continue on down the pathway to the door that needed the passphrase.
35, so we got it to 23. Jeez.
I can keep hearing it. All right. So do you continue on down to the door that needs a passphrase?
I would say yeah.
Okay. Well, as you approach the door, you notice it's open.
Hmm. Do I notice more of those possible claw marks or scorch marks?
Make an investigation roll.
I'm assuming Otto will assist. Not that
Yeah.
it mattered much.
You don't notice anything like that.
Yeah, I
You
was just
look
away.
around.
I'm assisting.
Yep. Yeah, you don't notice anything that had produced that scorch mark. You don't notice any marks on the ground that seem out of the ordinary, or really anything, with the exception of the door being open when it wasn't before.
All right. Let's all cautious like proceed. Graham will have weapon and shield out, sword and shield.
All right. As you travel down a short hallway, you can see a spiraling staircase leading further below.
Yeah. Let's descend another level.
Okay. As you go down, you descend about 50 feet, um, at which point you see that the tunnel forward has collapsed, but there is a section um, that has been dug next to it. You can see that the wall has been torn down, and there is a very kind of crude, like a tunnel that has been dug. It is tall enough for you to walk through without having to hit your head. You can see that very haphazardly has been reinforced with wood. It does not have any of the nice stone archways you'd seen previously.
Well, I guess we might as well keep looking around for traps just in case.
If you'd like to search for traps, give me a.
I hold up Fiffle and just like use him like a stud sensor.
Yeah, give me another investigation roll.
It's best for you to find the trap.
You don't notice anything. You don't
What you
notice
want to do is
anything.
insert Piffle into the trap and jiggle him around.
Your skeleton fiffle.
Kind of.
Mr.
Okay, I'm
Bones.
back. Laundry was going crazy.
Yeah, you don't notice anything. Anything that would be a trap. As you are looking through, you do see the telltale signs of footprints. You see because the ground is dirt. It does look like it opens up into a small, naturally occurring tunnel or cavern, something that had been opened up and created by what you suspect to be erosion.
With the tracks, the claw marks, and the scorch marks, can I make a history check to try to think of things that the Orwellans might have recorded as possible creatures they encountered?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, whoa!
Yep, you rack your brain for anything that the Arwellans had encountered or anything that could lead to this, and nothing. Nothing of these clues matches anything you've heard of, and you are like going through every esoteric text from the Arwellan Empire, any story you've heard, any rumor, anything that a drunk had said in a bar one time that you knew was false, but he was really, really certain about. All of that is completely not matching the clues you've been gathering.
Well, shit. I got no idea, and I racked my brain pretty good, so we're gonna go find something yet as unknown to science. Until we can find old Orwellan notes, maybe. But
I was gonna say, what about barkeep history? But yeah, let's go.
All right. As you're making your way further down this tunnel, you sense some heat, and you notice a thing approaching you. It appears to be almost a kind of blanket of fire, and as it apparently notices you, it begins to charge towards you.
I get behind everybody else.
We can tell this is an immediate aggressive charge, right?
Make a survival check.
Animated fire is on
Yeah.
Piffle's list. Nope.
You believe, Graham, that this is almost like an animal attacking an intruder in its den.
I'm
do I know
assuming
if I could make a big threat display to make it ward back off, or is it just going to keep barreling at us?
We could attempt to.
Yeah, Graham will,
Wave your
I
arms and
guess,
shout at it.
put his shield up and like put his sword behind him, all lit up, and he'll make like a rah, like a trying to spook a bear kind of
you know
thing.
what? I'll Eldritch Blast as he does that too, just to like add to the intimidation factor.
Okay, Graham, give me an intimidation roll. Graham, give me an intimidation. Otto, give me an Eldritch Blast attack against a creature.
Dang it.
Dang it, for sure.
Well, it was worth a try.
Well, could he roll at an advantage since I'm trying to help him with his intimidation here?
Yeah, give me another intimidation roll.
No, it's better.
All right, let me do a little. Let me check something. The creature does not seem to care about your attempt to scare it. As approaching, it's about 30 feet away now, and it is like charging its way towards you. You notice as it's getting closer, it's not like charging in the traditional sense, as it's not actually touching the ground. It is more kind of flapping, almost like a flying carpet.
Okay, then I'm gonna definitely try to hit it with these Eldritch Blasts.
All right, go ahead and attempt to zap it. All right, roll me damage on that first Eldritch Blast, please.
I guess Fern would try to shoot it too, but I don't know if you
I
want
was
to.
going to say, can I try to sapping sting it now that it's within 30 feet?
Yes, you can. What roll does it have to make save?
Sapping sting is a Constitution save.
Con save. Okay, let me. Got a natural 20, so yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Fern can attempt to zap it as well.
Okay, let me switch over. Man, I have two character sheets, at least three. Just gonna
That was
go.
the other thing. I wanted to reduce the number of characters you had to run.
Yeah, I'm going Gun Bunny here.
Gunny. Well, between your Eldritch Blast and the shot that strikes it directly in it, you see that the kind of flying fire carpet creature, it just kind of fizzles out into just like remainers of smoke. And I'd like everybody to give me an Arcana check, please.
Mediocre.
Can I halfling that? Please.
Yes, you may. I am not
That makes
ways of
you
the
do that.
arcane, but I can roll an 18 then for reasons.
You know
Yeah.
what? All my good rolls were in the combat with those crits. Okay.
Fiffle, you had spent some time with wizards. You'd palled around with Lucian enough. That flying carpet fire was almost a textbook burning hands spell. Um, no fancy frills on it. No wizards.
Yes.
Like
So guys,
flair.
I'm pretty sure I saw Lucian do exactly that this one time when we were really drunk.
To himself or to somebody else?
Yes.
So either we're dealing with a wizard or we're dealing with a Lucian.
Oh
I mean,
God.
Not funny as hell. It was the most horrible thing I could think of. Let's.
but yeah. Oh, Fiffle, you also know that one, you need a wizard to produce burning hands, or at least somebody capable of casting spells. And two, once they cast a spell, it goes away. It does not, persist and act like an animal.
Interesting.
Also,
So this is perhaps a modified burning hand spell.
I was gonna say, isn't Burning Hands also like? Don't you have to be like within range of us? So wouldn't we see a wizard at this point?
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah, it doesn't have like that long a range. You typically remember Fiffle it being done within 15 feet was about. Lucian would stand 16 feet back from people and spray it at them.
I suggest that we look around for a wizard.
We're in a
Perhaps
hallway,
behind
right?
these wall panels or in that closet over there. Are there any closets around here?
No, this is actually just a kind of naturally forming tunnel. So seeing a closet, you would be a little more.
Concerned.
Yeah.
Graham is gonna call out in Common and then in Orwell, and if someone's there, come out. We just want to talk.
All right. Give me a persuasion roll.
I'm not good at those. I rolled a 16 though, so 17.
Yeah. Graham, you call out. Your voice kind of echoes around. Nobody comes.
All right.
And once your
Maybe
echo.
they made living spells. It seems like the kind of bullshit Arwell would do, speaking as an expert, such as they are.
Okay. But the tunnel does continue forward. While you're doing all this, I'd like everybody to make me a Constitution save, please.
Oh, good.
Remember, you're all 5 feet within me, so
Or
plus
10
five,
feet, yeah.
Nice.
10 feet, yeah.
So 22.
Okay. 22, 20.
Are we having advantage because of the thing?
Uh,
I think I
Not
got a
advantage. You
32
roll at
die.
plus
Wow.
5.
Oh,
you
I
feel
think
a brief wave of vertigo. It only lasts a second, kind of, spins a bit. Um, but you're able to maintain your balance. You're able to avoid spilling your breakfast. And it just briefly passes over you, and you continues on normal. Yeah, no problem there. You're fine.
Hmm.
that's the swamp gas,
Probably magic.
sewer gas,
Uh,
magic nausea spell.
you know what? Let's do detect magic
Sure.
and move forward, I guess. Uh, hang on, I gotta do my thingy here.
Who has detect magic? Is that an auto thing?
I have it. Hang on, I'm just trying to share it. I clicked the button, by the way. It's just not sharing. There we go.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm assuming it's a Paladin of Vengeance ability you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 30 feet. Okay. You don't see anything um, that would show as magical to you within the area you are.
Okay. Let's move forward.
Okay.
Well, we can detect magic.
All right. As you move forward, the tunnel does take about 5 minutes to progress further, but you do eventually see a light coming from one end of it.
Hmm.
How far is this light?
You suspect it's about 60 feet.
Mm. Tunnel's lit up so we can all see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just does it trigger it? Is detect magic triggering it off of it or anything like that?
No,
We got
this.
closer, right?
Yeah, you can't see the source of the magic. You can't see the source of the light, I should say.
Okay. Let's get a little closer.
As you reach the end of the tunnel, you can see that it goes from a naturally formed cave into a section that has been tunneled out. You can see that it has been reinforced with the same kind of wooden structures that had been done earlier. And looking down this kind of mined out area, you can see that it enters into a. There is a torch at the end that is resting on a wall that is stone, and you can see that there is a reinforced stone arch next to the actual torch itself. The torch is about 70, maybe 80 feet from where you currently are, but kind of straight down.
Mm, anything suspicious about this little hallway we're in?
Make an investigation roll.
Graham is assisting, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank God.
The hallway does not appear to have anything suspicious about it. It does not look trapped. As far as you can tell, you don't see anything kind of buried in the ground. You don't see the roof sagging that would indicate it was meant to fall on intruders. It looks relatively normal.
Okay. I'll move forward.
Okay.
Yes, I'll move forward. I also think I still have my detect magic for like 5 more minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take you 5 minutes to travel 70
Yeah.
feet. So you're able to get to the actual end of the mined out section into this actual stone tunnel. If you look to your right, you can see that there is a big section that has collapsed down, similar to what you saw earlier before entering into this tunnel itself. To the left, it stretches down about 100 feet, and you can see some torches lining it. Every about 30 feet, At the far end, you can see a large stone door, but also you notice some barricades that have been set up in front of the door itself. Nothing that is blocking it, but it looks like people who are leaving could set up behind the barricade and shoot arrows, bolts over it, throw spells, things like that.
Relatively new looking barricades.
They are in good shape. They don't know how new they are from 100 feet away. You'd have to get closer. They appear to be made of stone, however. They obviously have been placed with some measure of permanency.
Okay. I guess make our way to the barricades and be careful for traps.
All right. Give me an investigation to look for traps.
Oh my God.
I will be assisting.
Okay.
I did. There was the assist.
Oh.
9-8.
You do not see any traps.
Probably no traps.
And while
Okay.
you're busy
Well.
investigating for traps,
Hey. I'll look for traps too, guys.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I feel like the fireball goes off after your roll.
so Fifthol, you don't notice any traps either.
Yeah, there's no traps, guys. It's
Okay.
You can trust me. I'm expert.
As you approach and get within about 50 feet of these barricades, you hear a voice. You can see someone is made like the barricades. As you approach, you can see that there's actual small arrow slits, and you can hear a voice call out from behind the barricade. Halt! Who goes there? It's an old
Howdy.
Orwellan, so only Graham really understands what's being said, but
Tell him we're here to see the wizard, Graham.
I got it. Graham will reply back. Hello, my name's Graham. We're from the surface.
What?
We're here to talk. We're not here to fight. We're not here to take anything from you.
okay, Graham, give me a persuasion roll, please.
Time to roll badly. Persuasion. Yeah, nah.
Ask him if he can speak in common.
Or as Graham would know it, Low Orwellan.
Yeah, Graham will ask for that and explain that he's the only one who speaks the language.
He begins calling out in Low Orwellan. Approach, keep your hands raised, make no moves for weapons, make no moves to cast spells.
Graham will sheath his longsword and walk up.
Okay.
Okay, does everybody do the same?
Yeah, I'll take Graham's lead.
Sure.
As you approach, you can see a number of people begin to kind of raise from behind the barricades. They are holding crossbows. They are holding spears that are kind of longer. You see that they have a kind of glass orb at the end with a weird concoction within it. And there, as you're approaching, they're kind of ready, and they see you. You don't appear to be from the level above, but you would have had to pass through it.
These guys are all made of goo, but it's different goo. That's just
We're from the very top. We came down here to explore underneath a magic academy up on the surface, and we're a good couple layers down here. We ran into the creature controlling the level above. I assume you've had hostile conflict with them before.
Yes, this is true.
The
Guardian God?
the creature told its people that you were invaders from below, that it was protecting them from, but it wasn't exactly a good creator.
Stay there, don't move. The door kind of slides open. One of the guards heads through, and the door slides shut. Approach. Oh yes.
Out of character, Otto's is like sitting in the doctor's office, is like looking through like doctor magazines right now while the doctor comes in.
Got like a highlights for kids.
The magazine very, very out of date. approach. Make no indication of hostilities.
Yep, yep.
I have my
As
bubonic plague vaccine.
as you approach, you can see that the armor that they're wearing is different from what you're used to. It is made of scales, is made of chitin, it is made of shells. The guard there, he takes off his helmet, which appears to be almost kind of skull shaped. You can see that where before you thought he was a human, now you can see that he has what appears to be multiple eyes. He has 6 eyes, 3 dots on one side, 3 dots on the other. They all blink in unison. The
Howdy.
other greetings. You are friendly, foe. What are
Well,
you?
we're not here to fight, but well, we managed to disrupt a couple of things in the ecosystem down here, and ideally, we're trying to protect everyone on our way from ourselves and each other and the things they're dealing with.
Hmm.
Can you tell me the nature of your conflict with the ones above you, the acid people?
Let us wait for Jerna to approach. Once she has arrived, she can explain more. She's in charge of the guard here.
Gotcha.
But you do seem friendly enough. If you don't go for your weapons, we can maintain a peaceful arrangement. I can tell you are not of the people in the lair above.
Yeah, there's some things you ought to know about him if you don't, and that's part of what brings us down here.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that we can speak to this leader of yours and put an end to whatever started this conflict. I can't speak to the whole thing, but
Yes, Jerna is. She's in charge of the actual security, but she is not the leader. But you seem friendly enough, and we have been hoping and waiting for people from the surface to arrive. Uh, we suspected that it would be sooner, but I guess patience is considered a virtue. The other guards begin to take off their helmets. You can see one of the guards has antennae, like from a mantis, you would suspect, just sized for a human. Uh, let's see here. I had a whole list of different things. Yeah, yeah. You see one of them. He takes off his helmet, and you can see his, instead of hair, he actually has quills, like you would find in a porcupine.
Hmm.
After just a minute, the door slides open, and a woman dressed in a very kind of heavy armor made from like bone and chitin steps forward. It looks like it has actually been. It's a single piece, and it has been grown just for her. You can see that it kind of is well shaped for her body, and is probably
neat.
wouldn't fit anybody else very well. She is not wearing a helmet. You can see her skin is a pale white mixed with a splash of orange around. She has scales, and you can see along her neck gills that kind of flap open once in a while. She
Out of
looks.
character.
Hmm?
Kaido will be in love.
Oh God.
I mean, she's definitely, relatively. She's attractive, although you can definitely tell she's taller. She is more muscular. She is very well built. She is not what you would consider a traditional beauty, but yes, Kaido would be in love with her. Surface dwellers. Greetings. I am Jerna. I am in charge of security for here.
Howdy. My name's Graham. These are my associates. We're called the Crossed Blades. We're an adventuring group, and down here on business that's gotten increasingly interesting the further down we've gone.
Yes, I can imagine.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your ongoing conflict with the acid people upstairs?
Yes, our history is researchers from the Orwellian Empire. When the evacuation happened, the lockdown sealed us in, and we haven't been able to go up since. The researchers in the layer above had been absorbed by some sort of creature, as far as we can tell, and had been directing its kin to attack us. We had been engaged in minor skirmishes and conflicts for the past centuries, although we had achieved in essence, a ceasefire for the past few decades, although that has recently been broken. A just the other day, a large amount of acid was poured below onto us.
Ah, that might have been us, in which case you have my apologies. I should tell you about what's happened up there. And Graham will explain that the thing had positioned itself as a god and ran its little crazy fife of immortal respawning researchers slash slime people. They killed the guard, or the god, but the good news is now they can self-determine. The bad news is they're now on a shelf life because they're still intelligent beings and they're all going to die without finding a cure, which is part of what brings us down here. But also making sure it's safe.
She gives a heavy sigh. I must also apologize then, as I have given the order to kill them all.
Can we get back up there and get ahead of that?
No, it's already been done. During the ceasefire period with the Guardian, we suspected that would last forever. We had developed a special sonic weapon that would be deployed. Once the acid struck, we thought this was the precursor of an invasion. So I sent up a small team to deploy the weapon. Once it has given its signal and run its course, it would create a sound that will start to slowly destroy the interior of your mind.
Two questions. Can it be reverted? And will it affect people who aren't slime people?
Yes. Well, I will answer the second question first because, yes, it will infect the people that are not slime people. It was anything that can hear will be affected by it. The teams I sent up had to wear special hearing protection when they ignited it. It was released the. It generates an intense amount of heat. I didn't build it myself, and it just creates a fire jet as it produces the noise. Once that goes through, you have a week at most before it eventually kills you.
Then we're on a timer because we all heard it.
Yep.
And you also have my apologies for murdering you. I was almost assured that this was the work of the Guardian. I did what I did for my people. I'm sorry for that.
Well, if you could do what you could do for our people, I'm not ready to throw in the towel and wait for a week to die. So if there's a means to reverse it, I'm gonna try.
There might be. It was
Wait, are we turning into goo people?
No, we're going to just
We're just
rot
gonna
from the
die.
inside.
We're gonna
Our
drop
brains are
dead
gonna
in
die.
7 days.
It
Say again?
was. This idea wasn't inspired by the meme, but it very much is the meme of playing a jaunty tune at your resonant frequency so that you boil alive.
Fun.
You know, the next D&D game I'm just gonna play as a deaf person.
Well, any help you could give us would be extremely welcome.
Yes. As long as you give your word of honor not to engage in any violence that is not. There will be no violence required. We promise we will no longer cause you any torment. But you may come inside and view our. I've been told stories of what our well is like. This is not a city. It is a research facility for investigating specific unique animals that our well had been investigating. So it may not be as grandiose of what you're used to, but I can assure you it is all that we have.
Don't worry none about that. There's a lot of things that have happened that I'll be happy to fill you in on, but after I find out if I can prevent myself from dying.
Well then, come with me. The door slides open, and as you enter in, you can see that this area is, not acidic. boiling you alive by walking in. Um, the walls are a nice white stone color. You can see that there has been some decoration put around. You can see murals painted with strange pigments. The site inside is kind of chilly, like chillier than you're used to. The people who inhabit here, they look at you kind of curious to you. Nobody really runs away, but as they watch you, you can see that they have been mixed with different kind of animals. You can see somebody who has uh, almost bat wings that attach from his side to his arm. You can see somebody kind of like a manta ray stinger. Somebody with a couple of wings that you'd see from an actual insect. And as you make your way through, you eventually arrive at a hybrid of an almost office meets a laboratory. As you enter in, you can see that there are a number of rats running around in cages. These cages are separated out with one rat or two rats at most. You can see that the rats themselves have their brains exposed. Like it doesn't look like they've suffered from having like the top of their skull popped out. Actually, if you'd like, give me an Arcana or a History check, please.
I will do history because I can
I will
roll.
do Arcana
Okay.
someday.
One day, eventually.
Someday? What? You're gonna get 2, maybe 3.
¿Por qué no
Oh
las?
boy, 4.
Oh,
Okay. You
I
both rolled high
I don't
enough.
know.
You both rolled high enough. For whatever reason, you are aware of these creatures, and Graham, you remember reading about them in the history book. These are cranium rats.
ah,
You know that in groups, they are able to pool their intelligence together. So a big swarm of cranium rats is actually incredibly intelligent, but just by themselves, they are barely more intelligent than an actual rat. Looks like they have been purposely separated so they will not combine together into that swarm.
neat.
Useful thing to have around, I guess. For science.
Anyway, oh, and you know what? And I can actually show you the lab. There you go.
Cool.
I'm still waiting for my like random freaking Arcana rolls to come through.
Yeah. As you enter in further into the lab, you can see a number of electrical experiments that have just these kind of thick cables running along. There is a large metal slab in the middle with leather straps across it, a massive orb just shooting out electricity along the top. Zherna brings you in and shows you these large metal tanks to the left and right of it. These you cannot see into, but they contain within it our leader. During the war with the creatures above, the slime people, as you call them, the attacks had been at one point incredibly aggressive. The guardian god had the abomination, the adversary as we call him, had made attempts to flow in and kill us. The solution to this, or at least one of them, was to have a number of our researchers use the research they gathered together from the cranium rats to link their minds together into a single gestalt entity. The minds remain within those metal tanks there. There was a minor problem we've noticed. They had suffered a layer of trauma from the actual attacks themselves, and so when they linked together, the trauma they shared was combined into one single entity, and has created a unfortunate side effect, which is
Fun.
yes. The researchers here who have merged together into the singularity were powerful wizards. you will occasionally see spells that persist beyond their initial cast and have, in essence, acquired an almost fracture, a splinter of the intelligence, and makes their way around. It will inadvertently create these entities at random.
Yeah, we ran into a flame spell that looked like a cat.
Ah, yes. Well, be glad that was the only one you found. They get worse from there. When the singularity creates these entities, we do our best to send them further down to the next layer, which we refer to as the silence.
Hmm. So, where can we start looking into undoing that death knell?
I have a few ideas. We are all researchers here, which is good for you. Um, as you see, we are not human or humanoid as you are. We are closer to, she points at Fern, her. We augmented our bodies in order to better combat the Guardian. I suppose that's not something we're going to have to worry about currently.
Excuse me.
However, what I am going to do, the singularity is, at this time, we cannot communicate with him, or it, they, them, whatever you wish to refer to. It has lapsed into a coma. Um, However, it did produce the schematics for the sonic weapon before it did so. If there is a cure for it, the singularity is going to have that information. I'm going to get some research notes that I have compiled, studies from various researchers, and I'm going to try and find a way to commune with the singularity. I think we are close, as we have been spending the past couple decades attempting to actually get that communication done. So, in the meantime, you're not going to die tomorrow, so I would say find some lodgings. I can provide something for you. Get some food. Uh, Make yourselves at home for the time being, as you do have our apologies for the actions we caused. That was not our intention to do that. It was. I want you to understand we did this merely as a defensive measure.
I understand. The people up there were under the yoke of that would-be god for a very long time, and I'm hoping we can save ourselves, we can save them, and maybe we can put you two at peace now that their lives are their own again. But
Well, hopefully.
that's a stretch goal right now.
Well, either way, please, I make yourselves at home. You have free reign of the city within reason, of course.
Thank you.
And by tomorrow, I will have something that I can present to you.
Thank you. I really do not feel good today. Please excuse me again.
I
No
mean, that's
worries.
what Sonic things do.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like, we are down a single fern, so we might be able to just call it right now and pick it up not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good time to end. We do have start
We've got to a place.
our doomsday time
Yeah,
countdown.
it's a fuzzy timeline, but you have a rough idea of how long until your head explodes.
You'll be dead by next Sunday.
All right, so we'll call it here, and we will pick this up next week.